Hello, everyone. So this is my first YouTube live, as you might know. I realize the quality is not as good as the videos. I'm using my webcam and it is pretty outdated. So we're going to have to work with this. I'm going to try to figure it out for next week. Hopefully, I will figure a different situation out. But because on Instagram, I've been doing weekly lives for, I want to say, I don't know if I've been doing it the entire time that there's been a pandemic, but I've been doing it for like months now. Normally, these are book looks, but I made a poll on my Instagram, and what you wanted to see, I gave people two options. One was a wedding recreation makeup look, and then the other one was holiday glam, and the wedding one won. So, wearing my white blazer, this is obvious, this is not what I wore on my wedding day. And the makeup is pretty simple that I did for my actual wedding day. So I'm gonna also do the bit that I was doing my hair for. And that's kind of how it's gonna go. If you have any questions, please definitely leave them in the chat. That was one of the main advantages over doing it on YouTube because people can see the chat afterwards if they want to versus Instagram. So this whole thing is like a learning experience. Thank you for coming on this journey with me. So yeah, I have all of my stuff on the left. That's why I keep looking over here. I gotta grab these bobby pins. I kind of just threw them on the floor. Let me just get them. I did all of my wedding hair and makeup by myself, and I got married years ago. Somewhere between 4 and 5. I think 4. So basically, for my hair, I don't have a good. I was looking for photos so I could show you what I was trying to recreate, and I basically have no good close-up photos and also no photos of my hair. But basically, I took it in 2 braids, and then I just kind of pinned it back in so it was flat to my head in kind of just any way I wanted. I didn't have a specific thing I was doing, right? So I basically just took it here and then just pinned a bunch. And I pinned also fake flowers in my hair because I wanted flowers in my hair. And I didn't want to use real flowers because I was worried that, over time that they would wilt and they just wouldn't hold up as well. So that's why I used fake flowers. And I didn't pin those myself. I got someone else to help me by pinning them. So that's why I was also kind of like, I can't really do a tutorial on that part because I didn't do that part. So I'm just also making sure to kind of make sure I cover up the tails. I should have used a black hair tie, but I couldn't find one when I was getting ready for this. So there's no rhyme or reason to the hair. It was kind of just pinning it any way I could get it to stick. My hair is super thick, so I'm kind of at the mercy of bobby pins and also at the mercy of how my hair chooses to cooperate at that time. Mostly it doesn't cooperate. But I think I've shared photos of my wedding dress and like all that stuff on my Instagram before. Just in Instagram stories, not in any posts. So I'll try to dig those out for you all next time. Or I guess there won't be next time because this will be very much just done. So I'm basically going to put like 40 bobby pins in my hair. I don't know if you think I'm joking, but it's going to happen. So I'm glad that no one can see the back. It definitely ended up being lopsided. Like you can see all the braids here, and then definitely on this side, you can see the tail. but also B, the braid, just I didn't wrap enough around that side. So that's not up, that's not how it looked um, for my wedding day. But yeah, I don't know if people kind of know about this, but I've talked a little bit about how my journey into makeup and my journey to like doing makeup progressed. And I can talk a little bit about it now. I'm gonna spray my face with this spray. Also, I can't do the makeup exactly like I did because some of the products I don't have anymore. So when I'm going through, I'll definitely tell you it. But I'm just gonna spray my face because my face is super dehydrated because it's winter. Is this working? Wow, that got all over my coat too. This is just the Pixi Hydrating Milky Mist, by the way. I think this is like the second time I've used it as well, so it's not, you know. I have some tea because I was so nervous for this live that I had panic dreams. I had a dream where I woke up in the middle, or no, so I had a dream that I woke up from in the middle of the night, where in my dream I woke up like today and wanted to film this for you all, and I had no voice. And I went on these really long walks the past couple days, you know, over an hour basically, and it's been so cold that my throat has just felt a little hoarse. So it was definitely a dream fueled by this panic. But yeah, I was in my dream. I had woken up from sleep and I didn't have a voice. And I was like, oh my God, A, I can't play Among Us because I won't have a voice. So how will that work? And B, I can't do this live because I won't have a voice. Because Saturdays are normally my Among Us day where I play a bunch of Among Us with a few different groups. So it was a panic. It was like a dream of just, it was a nightmare. I don't know why I'm saying a dream. It was a nightmare. And then I woke up and today in real life, and I still had my voice. But now I'm being now I'm kind of like, was I right to panic? So I've been just drinking hot beverages all morning since I got up to make sure that I didn't lose my voice. But if my voice sounds a little hoarse, that's why. So I'm just using eye primer, which is the Urban Decay Primer Potion. I need to use this. Anytime I wear eyeshadow, I need to use primer. My hooded eyes it just can't. And then I also need to set it. So I'm gonna set it with kind of just a lighter color. I'm using the Lorac Mega Pro 2. And this is the only makeup product I actually still have from that time period. So this is the only thing that's going to be a truly authentic. Everything else will kind of be, if I did my wedding makeup today, what would it look like? So I don't know if that will disappoint anyone, but I didn't keep it. Like the foundations and stuff, I just didn't keep. And I kept this eyeshadow palette, so I don't know. I generally don't really get rid of eyeshadow palettes. Maybe that's not good, but I just feel like they don't really go bad in my opinion, you know, unless there was mold or something on them, and I don't have any. So as I said, I realize that I seem like really, really grainy. I am sorry. I will try to fix that for next time, I promise. Okay. So while I do my makeup, by the way, for the makeup wise, for my makeup on the day of, I basically just use these two shades. So the palette for the flowers and everything was kind of a sunset kind of thing. So peaches and oranges and a little bit of red, just because those are like my favorite colors. So I basically just used those two colors, melon and tangerine, and that's it. I don't think I even did any shadow, but today I'm going to put some definition in them. So I'm going to just talk a little bit also about how I got into makeup. I wasn't really into makeup growing up. I dabbled with it a little bit, but I just didn't do that much of it. And for me, it was hard for me to figure out how to put eyeshadow on my eyes because are hooded, right? So basically what I mean by that is when I look, okay, when I blink my eye, you see this space, which you don't see when I look straight, right? You can see that little part of my eyelid kind of creasing up. So the mobile lid, that's the part that's moving, disappears. So for some people, I think the extent of their hooded eye differs. But for me, my mobile lid like completely goes away, and you also can't even really see it on the sides. Um, so I looked at sort of magazines and what people around me, like my classmates, were doing in high school and stuff. And I never really found a way to emulate that. I would try and it would crease first off because I wasn't wearing eyeshadow primer and or the formula. I remember I had this one palette that was like white, pink, and then magenta. And I would try to do this white to pink to magenta thing, but it was like a cream eyeshadow, but cream eyeshadows weren't that big, so it was just so oily and just never stayed on my lashes, on my eyelids. So that was kind of like the worst makeup years. And then when I was in college, I started wearing more foundation, like more face stuff, just because I kind of just got rid of eye makeup. I was like, I'm never going to make this work, essentially. Um, and by then, I was only really doing winged eyeliner. So some people really have complimented my winged eyeliner skills, which is super, super nice. But it's also because I've been practicing for like a decade of winged eyeliner, you know? So I've put in the time, plenty of failed winged eyeliners situations. And so in college, I basically started wearing more face makeup, and I just started wearing Bare Minerals, and that was kind of it. The Bare Minerals powder. And I really liked it, but that was basically the extent of it. Only in the last 2 years, I want to say 2 or 3 years, did I really start to do more eyeshadow and like delve into looking at the quality of the products, so basically how clean the products were, and also expanding my repertoire of makeup techniques. And I was able to kind of find just a lot of different tutorials that were by other Asian beauty creators. And I was specifically also not even looking only for that, but I mean, that was one of the reasons why finding foundation was hard to match my undertone. But even just hooded eye tutorials. So when YouTube kind of exploded and all of that new content was out there, it just meant that I could finally engage with that. So that was kind of my, I would say, introduction into getting better at putting on my makeup or finding techniques that work for me, because I don't think there's ever like a really scale of good and like better and worse. I think it's more if you have techniques that you like that work well for you, um, that should be like the definition, in my opinion. So I think the day of, this is basically all I did. I lined my lashes and I put mascara on. So I think that's what I'm gonna do just to keep the authenticity. I'm using this Clinique quick liner, but I didn't have that when I got married. I think, what was I using at that point? Probably a Bare Minerals eyeliner. And at the time that I got married as well, I basically only had like this eyeshadow palette I'm looking at. I'm using. Didn't really have any others. Just because I wasn't really experimenting with colors. And in my live that I did with Carmen, um, I really talked about how this pandemic has given me so much more time and motivation to experiment with those colors. And I also talked about that in this guest post I did for Shattering Stigmas as well. And just how much time it's allowed me to use to work on those skills. And also just how much I've taken things that people told me I couldn't pull off, like bell bottoms, and taken things, style and color things that I have always been afraid to do, and then do them. So color certainly falls into that category. And now that I'm experimenting with color more and buying more eyeshadow palettes with color, I'm obsessed, and I don't think I'll ever go back. I mean, what I wear for everyday look, I think, is a little bit different than, for example, glam looks or book looks. But I would say that this, what I'm wearing now, is a pretty good kind of staple of what I could wear every day. Okay. I'm going to go in with foundation. Oh, wait. Sorry. I need to do mascara. I don't know why, like, I immediately skipped away from that. I need to start on my 5 million layers of mascara. I think, actually, when I was also getting married, I was using also this. Not this exact tube of mascara. That would be a lot. But I think I was also using this mascara. It's the Lorac Royal Treatment Primer and Mascara Duo. Because my eyelids are hooded, it means that the mascara can make like those raccoon eyes for me really easily. So this is one of the mascaras that like doesn't ever do that for me. Because I've tried a bunch. Tried a bunch of mascaras and a bunch of eyeliners, specifically testing them for that. Okay, so I just put the primer on. And it is blue, but it will dry. I basically wanted to do something where it looked a very natural, perfect, not perfected, but better sort of skin and like makeup, for example, but looked very natural. Okay, so I'm gonna have to do 5 million layers of mascara. I'm also I don't know if you can hear that. I'll have to play it back later to see if you can. But if you hear any whirring, that is my computer fan. As I said, I will try next time to fix it. I'm thinking about buying a webcam, just because, whoever knows when this pandemic will let up, and you know, it would be nice, I guess, to have better quality video for just other things in general as well. I'm sure people I'm Skyping with would also appreciate if I had a little better quality face. So I'm going to go in with the Bare Minerals Bare Pro liquid foundation. I didn't use this at the time. So what I used, and I remember specifically because I got a sample from it I got a sample for it from Sephora. So many for in that sense. And I was trying it out, and it's the Josie Maran Vibrancy Argan Oil Foundation. So for me, I did a lot of testing about what makeup would hold up. I'm just, ow, that bobby pin really just got me in the head. I did a lot of testing on how makeup would hold up throughout the day, throughout some testing before my wedding, and that one was the best one. But I didn't have this Bear Pro. And I think if I did, I would have used this Bear Pro. The coverage is so good and the staying power is amazing. Like when I was commuting into New York City, and so for me, my commute was 2 hours and it involved multiple trains, and the subways in New York City are hot. Like this was also in August, essentially, so in the summer, and they are hot. And this makeup stood or worked for me the entire commute and the entire day. And if something happened, I could kind of blot it if I needed to. But yeah, and I bought the brush that Bare Minerals Bare Minerals recommended, which is this kind of flat brush, um, and very very dense, and that kind of paints the foundation on, and that means you get the maximum coverage. But for me also, that was kind of just a little bit heavy, and this is a matte foundation as well. The foundation I used for my actual wedding day was like a satin foundation essentially, but this one is matte. And so what I found is, in order to kind of make it a little bit less high coverage and get some of my natural skin luminosity to peek through, I'll either apply it with kind of a loose brush. This is a stippling brush, but a loose brush, um, or a sponge to kind of take away some of that, just because I want my natural skin luminosity to show through. And then I always can go back in with another layer, or even just spot conceal other layers where I want more coverage. But yeah, as I said, with the lighting, it's kind of hard to tell. Also, this color is a smidge too light for me. So if you're looking right now, my cheeks and my forehead are the ones I put foundation on, and you can see that my nose is a little bit different colored. But I'll try not to put my mirror high up because it is getting in the way with like the light stuff. Anyway, and I can get super oily in the T-zone. So this is what I would do. Also, I don't normally, since I'm not relying on foundation for my SPF coverage, and I don't think people really should be because you're not getting enough sunscreen really in it. I don't need to put it all over my face. I'm kind of just putting it more in the center of my face to kind of make sure that the coverage and the luminosity is where I want it to be. Just fixing my hair. So that's also another thing. And I don't know if I wore, oh, I think I wore concealer, and I think I did Tarte Shape Tape. Since then, my skin has changed. My skin is a lot more dry now, especially on my cheek areas. So that wouldn't work for me anymore because it would just accentuate my texture on my cheeks. I wasn't going to put concealer on because I'm not going anywhere today. So I kind of figured it wasn't really necessary. So I'm not wearing concealer. But I did use Tarte Shape Tape. Right now, if I had to, though, I'd use the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer. Because to me, that gives you a great amount of coverage. Similar in some respects to the Shape Tape, but it's more of a satin finish, I guess. And my under eye can crease a lot and be super dry. And on the day of, I also curled my lashes. But I generally tend to not curl my lashes unless it's for a special event because you're putting essentially a tiny little weapon like right in front of your eye. I'm also not particularly very good at it. So every time I do it, I'm a little bit worried that I'm going to just like jab my eye out completely and then I'll just cease to be living. Well, no, I'll just lose an eye. I do think I also use the IT Cosmetics Brow Powder just because I think I've been using this forever to do my eyebrows. So if you're new here or you haven't been really watching my IGTVs, let me just go through what you can expect. Basically, I do a live every week, have been doing it since almost the pandemic started, where I predominantly do book looks. So they used to be at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard, but the lighting is constantly changing. So now I had to move it up to 9 a.m. Eastern Standard. And um, that's kind of how it works. On my Instagram, you can find, I normally put the books that I'm going to be thinking about doing, and then you can vote on which book you want to see. So if you definitely want to be more involved in like the makeup side of this endeavor, then you should check out the Instagram, because that's where I will A, post the photos of the book looks that I've done, and also B, that's where I will set up votes for the next book look I'm going to do. I think the next one I do might be the holiday one, but I always leave it up to a vote, so we'll see what ends up winning. I definitely do think I still had this Becca blush palette when I was doing my makeup, and this is the one in Songbird, which is just a lovely kind of peachy color. I'll show you. See that like peachy middle color? It has just the right touch of warmth, and also it has some luminosity to it. Oh, I forgot to put highlighter on. Okay, I'll do that next. It has just the right luminosity to it as well. And on my actual wedding day, I wasn't, okay, I've gotten extremely obsessed with blush in my life. So I probably didn't even do as much blush as I did today, which isn't even that much. But I was kind of updating the makeup look, and so I did do more blush. The highlighter, I think I also used this one, which is, I may have also used this too. It's Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector in the shade Moonstone. This has never shown texture on my skin. It is a great kind of like cream highlight. I love it. I love the Becca highlights and blushes so much. And so this is just one of my absolute favorites. And on my wedding day, I didn't use brushes. I just used a sponge. But I'm using a brush, so I'm just going to pat that into my skin. And it gives such a beautiful luminosity without accentuating the texture. And I just love it. Like to this day, it's one of the products that I've loved since the beginning and have kept loving, essentially. Now I have that song, one like, 'Cause I Can't Stop Loving You, stuck in my head. So while we're finishing up, for my wedding day, I did a red lip. I did a non-transfer red lip. I don't, for the life of me, remember the formula or the product I used, which is so unfortunate because it lasted beautifully, but I do not remember at all. So today I used something that I would probably use if I had to do it all over again today. It's the Black Up No Transfer Sephora Glossy Liquid Lipstick, just because it also, in the name, is no transfer, but it's more glossy of a look. And I think on my wedding day, I wore matte lipstick. So basically, we're doing everything opposite, right? We're wearing like a more matte foundation while also wearing a glossier lip. So now my mascara. I think on my wedding day, I probably did 3 coats of mascara just because my lashes are very, very pitiful and they need literally all the help that they can get. That part of my hair is kind of fallen down. I think I might repin the right side because I have some time. Normally these kinds of things normally last an hour, but this look went super fast and I knew it would just because it's not as time intensive as a book look normally is. So I want to, I did a bunch of pins on this side because it was just not working. Wow. Okay, I'm gonna just briefly pin the left side up a little bit better. I think on my actual day, I was so blessed by just having nailed it the first time. Okay. So I like to lay it down first to make sure I'm hiding the edges, and then hold it and then pin it. But looking for photos from the day of has made me in super reminiscing mode. Okay, that's a lot better. Mm-hmm. Okay. And then the application of my lipstick. So I'll take photos for Instagram later, not of any books because this is not a book look, but I'll take a photo of how this makeup looks so you can kind of see it a lot better than you can now. But I would love for people who are rewatching this, and that's kind of the another reason I switched to YouTube so that people could rewatch it a lot easier, and so you could see chat, which today there is none because this is my first time. But I would like to know if anyone has anything that they would like to see more. Do you really want to see a glam makeup look? Let me know. And also, we're coming up to the end of the year, so what kind of videos would you like to see in January or the rest of the year? I have already filmed a December TBR. I'm going to post that next week, which is also really late in the thing, but I'm trying to only post once a week just because that is kind of keeping my excitement and mental health in check. So I'm going to do that, and okay. Please tell me below, should I do a video where I talk about my most disappointing books of 2020? Because on the blog, if you didn't know, I have a blog, and on the book blog, Utopia State of Mind, I'm going to highlight all my favorite books of 2020. But I was wondering if you want kind of like a spicy, most disappointing books of 2020. I don't know if I have much more than 10, but I might. So I might have to like narrow it down to 10. So let me know if you want that. And also like what other videos you might also want. I'm kind of excited to do that, but I'm also really worried that I will get a lot of angry comments about people who really loved those books. I can already think of a few beloved books that'll make it there that might get me into trouble with people. So this is the look. I think the actual wedding day look, this lip kind of skews a little bit more of a reddish, cool toned. But I think on my wedding day, I was wearing more one that was a little bit warm toned, but I can't find the shade. So thanks for tuning in to my first YouTube. I know that this was a book look as well, so it wasn't like really what I'm kind of more known for. So as always, let me know what other videos you'd like to see. If you had any questions, obviously, about what I'm saying. And also, actually, if you want to see any specific book looks, I've done a bunch this year just because I've been doing them since this pandemic started, basically. And I can't even, it's been a long time. But if you have any suggestions of books that I own that I haven't done yet, I will definitely write them down and kind of go through them. Mm, because I always need more suggestions and more things to do. So, of course, more things to do, but more ways to combine my love of books and makeup. So, anyway, I will try to figure out how I can put social media links below so you can see them. And I hope you all have a really great day. Bye.